This is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hi everyone, it's Beaton here. Before we get started, last week I asked the question, which British actor was the first Dr. Hannibal Lecter, and what was the name of the movie? The answer is Brian Cox in Manhunter. Cox, best known these days for playing William Stryker in the X-Men movies and the HBO drama Succession, was the first actor to play Hannibal. The movie Manhunter, an adaptation of the novel Red Dragon, isn't particularly memorable because Cox is only on screen for a few scenes, and it also makes no reference whatsoever to him being a cannibal. However, it does feature William Peterson as FBI agent Will Graham, and this movie was directly responsible for getting him the role of investigator Gil Grissom on CSI. Now, without further delay, this week on Trash Can Tidbits, just like I promised, I'm going to hand it over to someone special. Thanks, B. What's up, y'all? My name is Moll Sheppy, and I shall be doing today's list. However, this will be something pretty different, as I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite fictional dogs. As a German Shepherd, I'm pretty compelled to bring you something that reflects my love for man's best friend. Here we go in no particular order. Number 10, Chet from the Chet and Bernie book series. Starting off on the printed page, Chet is the canine narrator of the Chet and Bernie mystery series by Spencer Quinn. I love these books because they're told from the perspective of Chet himself, an unspecified breed of dog whose owner, Bernie Little, is a detective. And especially what I love most about these books is that since they're told from a dog's point of view, it mixes in classic detective narration with the antics of what a dog can feel at a particular moment. For example, there are many times when Chet is talking about the mystery he's trying to solve, but then he'll segue into something like fetching a ball and feeling how wonderful it can be in your teeth. Excuse me. Now I'm the one getting off topic. Putting an entirely new spin on the detective genre is so much fun, especially when your narrator is a dog. Number 9. Pongo and Perdita from 101 Dalmatians. I'm listing both Dalmatian parents because I dare not separate them. I love these sophisticated dogs, and they're one of my favorite Disney couples. Pongo is handsome and brave, and Perdita is sweet and shy, but both parents will do anything to get their puppies back. There's really nothing like a good old-fashioned caper, and the adventures of this dynamic canine couple will have you seeing spots. Boy, if I was one of the dogs helping them out on the journey, I'd love to sink my teeth into that Cruella de Vil. Yeah. I give her a left and a right and a big old bite. Number 8. Muttley from Wacky Races. The sniggering canine sidekick of main villain Dick Dastardly is your classic second fiddle. He's always forced to bear the brunt of Dick's comical escapades and pretty much failures. Muttley pretty much still has a heart of gold. I always loved him because of that wheezing laugh of his, and the realization that he was never really all that bad. He just ended up with Dastardly for some reason. I was never able to do his laugh successfully, but I guess I can come pretty close. He's always so cute whenever he gains a reward from Dastardly, or whenever a plan goes horribly wrong that he launches into one of his famous mumbling that we all know. Let's give that good boy a medal, huh? Come on. Number 7. Lassie. Now we're getting into the real classics. Having been a staple of pop culture since the early 1940s, Lassie always tells the classic story of a boy and his dog. Debuting in the 1943 movie Lassie Come Home, she has charmed audiences for generations, and her appeal still echoes today. You know, I remember watching episodes of Lassie on TV as a puppy and always wondered why everyone around her seems to be getting older, but she stays the same. I guess that's the appeal. People in her life may come and go, but Lassie's cross-generational allure never goes out of style. Lassie is the real definition of man's best friend, and she is one smart lady. Now, speaking of which, we move on to number 6, Lady and the Tramp. The classic tale, no pun intended, of a beautiful upper-class cocker spaniel falling in love with a streetwise mutt. I'm just going to say it right now. The animation in Lady and the Tramp is amazing and really showcases animal behavior at its finest when it was still at its most innovative. How can you make something so human out of something so animal? Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. Lady herself is charming and demure, but also feisty in her own way. And when she meets Tramp, he awakens a side of her she never knew she had. I think that's all something we can all relate to, because when you meet certain people in your life, you touch on some things about yourself you never thought about. Going on the journey with these two does the same thing. You may, and who knows, you may even end up falling in love and grabbing a plate of spaghetti. And for the record, I definitely want to do the spaghetti scene with Silver someday. Number 5, Scooby-Doo. Moving on to another canine detective. This Great Dane has been part of the airwaves since 1969 and has gained more and more fans with each new incarnation. It's really interesting how Scooby and the rest of the Mystery Inc. gang has solved much more mysteries than any fictional detective in history, and yet they're not allowed to get older. The situation Scooby gets into, whether it be running from monsters or grabbing a bite to eat, never gets old. With the upcoming movie Scoob set to tell a brand new origin story for the Mystery Inc. gang, it looks like we're going to get some more fans to go for a ride in the Mystery Machine. I'm personally really glad that Hanna-Barbera decided to make Scooby the star of the franchise because, let's face it, it would not have been a memorable show without him. Number 4, Balto. Sure to be the subject of many dog furries' top 10 list, I would be doing all of you a disservice by not putting him here. As the subject of an animated film that is based on a true story with many liberties taken, they did ultimately one thing right with Balto. It's the classic story of an outcast trying to find his way into a community that doesn't really want him, but yet he does something utterly inspiring and earns his place among society, and honestly, what could be better than that in terms of finding that in your own life? Having Kevin Bacon as your voice actor probably doesn't hurt either. Now, I'm kind of wanting to see some animation of Balto and Jenna dancing to Footloose. Number 3, Dodger from Oliver & Company. I'm a New Yorker at heart, and Oliver & Company definitely does a wonderful job of capturing the spirit of the city, especially in the first few scenes. There's no better performer that exemplifies that New York state of mind better than Billy Joel, who made his acting debut playing Dodger, the cool, streetwise mutt who becomes an unlikely mentor to the title kitten. Dodger was a big inspiration for me as a puppy, and that cool swagger was one trait that I wanted to have in Moll. I mean, me. It's still a lot of fun to watch this movie and start feeling that New York rhythm when Dodger comes on screen. Number 2, Charlie B. Barkin from All Dogs Go to Heaven. Yep, I had to feature Charlie on my list because he is the main inspiration for me to have created Moll. A con-man German shepherd with a real heart of gold, he may be a scoundrel, but he does learn how to become a better individual after giving himself a second chance after being flat-out murdered. Ever since I joined the furry fandom, I'd wanted a German shepherd fursona, and I was definitely going to instill some streetwise charm to him inspired by Charlie. It just goes to show that you indeed can't keep a good dog down no matter how long you have to wait. Number 1, Snoopy. Who doesn't love Charlie Brown's independent beagle? Snoopy truly represents the daydreamer in all of us. One day he could be dancing down the street, the next day he'd be a World War I hero, and another he'd be a carefree college student picking up girls. I've loved this good boy since forever, and again, there's a real cross-generational appeal to him. Charlie Brown may be the star of these cartoons, but Snoopy is the reason I keep coming back for more. He is my number 1 choice for top dog. And thanks for having me here, B. I'll hope to catch all of you later. Back to you. It's my pleasure, Moll. And here's this week's trivia question. Since today's list was all about dogs, I'm going to be asking a trivia regarding them, specifically Lassie. Now, you may be surprised to know that Lassie has usually been portrayed by a male collie, as males are easier to train and have a tendency to look more glamorous on screen. This goes for the original collie chosen to play the role. My question to you is, what was the name of the first collie to play Lassie in Lassie Come Home? And as always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the notification bell. Thanks again, Moll, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.